Civil rights movement, hashtag not in my name, has rallied in support of Cheryl Zondi, who has accused the Nigerian pastor of sexual assault. They'll be attending today's court proceedings. For more on this, let's speak to Themba Masango, the movement's General Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us, Themba. Real pleasure speaking to you. Why do you think it was important for you to come out in support of Cheryl Zondi?
Good morning, and thank you so much for having us this morning. I think we need to clarify that Cheryl Zondi is actually just one of the victims of the many little girl, and in fact, there are many other young girls who are younger than Cheryl who were actually sexually groomed and abused and used by this wolf in sheep's skin. And we are actually today at court also pleading to the justice that this trial has been going on for way too long, with clear evidence of what Omotoso has been doing, and it really needs to come to an end, because every single time we have to go back into court, this replays in these children's minds, and what we call secondary victimization tends to happen, and it becomes very difficult for them to go on with life. We want to also condemn the Omotoso's legal team for trying to move the goalposts of justice by trying to bring up technicalities and say that the prosecuting team was not competent or actually assigned by the National Prosecuting Authority to prosecute Omotoso. What should be happening today is clear answers from Omotoso should be given for the fundamental questions that have been asked. Did you sexually abuse these children? Did you turn the house of God into a crime scene? If yes, you are a delinquent and not supposed to be in society, let alone call yourself a man of God, and he should be locked up for many years to come. We are glad also that he has been found by the Honorable Court as somebody who is not an undesired person within society, because his papers are also not 100% correct to be in our country. So we are hoping that the justice will move on swiftly after today. We can actually get into the actual trial.
Yeah. What do you think is the true cost if he is granted that acquittal that he's wanting today?
Well, it will be a real shame, because he'll be getting off on a technicality, and justice will not be served. And it is very important that justice is not just served, but justice is seen to be done also. So we have full confidence in the Honorable Court that they will not let him go lightly, because he's got harder questions to answer rather than these technical questions that are actually happening at the court now. We believe that they're just trying to move the goalposts, and they're trying to play around with technicalities rather than actually face to the blatant and obvious truths that Timothy Omotoso is an abuser, and he's a sexual violator and a predator, and should not be calling himself a man of God, let alone being around young girls and children. So what we are calling for is swift justice and the harshest of sentences, so that we can deter other would-be perpetrators and, as I say, wolves in sheep's skin who call themselves men of God and defiling the house of God. Where else should our people be running to when our churches have become crime scenes, where men of God are actually perpetrators? It is sickening, and we need to really turn this around, and we cannot afford for the court to let him go off slightly, especially in this time of Women's Month.
Right. Yeah,
not in my name too.
Themba, you talk about the back and forth essentially that we've seen with this trial, where victims like Cheryl Zondi essentially have been told that they have to testify once again. Are you fearful that the victim's case has been weakened by all of this?
Well, truth is fundamental, so it will not change. However, every single testimony will come back the same if it is the truth. What the problem is here is just the psychological trauma and the secondary victimization that the poor victims have to go through, again having to relive what they have gone through at the hands of this so-called pastor. And it is a real traumatic experience for anybody to try and have to re-explain what happened to them. And you'd also remember the line of questioning of Mr. Doberman, Omotoso's lawyer, was really I would say under the belt, and really unfortunate that he was really trying to make as if these children were looking for Omotoso to do this to them, where in fact we know that he was actually grooming them. And there's even video evidence, you remember, of him doing the most heinous things to young children. What type of a pastor goes to bed with a harem of little girls around him all the time? Where is his wife in all of this? Yeah. And so we need to be asking clear fundamental questions and let the court come to a clear answer, give him the harshest sentence, so that other would-be perpetrators and fake men of God will know that this is not something that's going to be accepted. And we want to send out a strong warning to other men of God in other churches and denominations that you must stop making the house of God a crime scene. We are coming after you one by one.
Yeah. Themba, thank you so much for speaking to us. We really do appreciate your time. That there, Themba Masango from Civil Rights Movement, #NotInMyName.